Yes, people, we are back. Back. Football's 12th man is back. Channel's back. Show's back. That means there's some Arsenal news. And it's not breaking news. It doesn't mean that Arsenal are going to go and sign someone tonight. I wish it did. But let's be real. A lot of people are panicking over this transfer window. The transfer window actually isn't opened yet. We've got to actually be a little bit more patient, I think. But of course, there's no football at the moment. The Euros hasn't started. We're in a little bit of a patch at the moment where not much is going on in terms of football. So we are talking about Arsenal and that oh my God, nothing's happening. But let's be real, look around. No one's really signing anybody at the moment. In fact, I don't think there's been anything that shocked the world of the transfer news or market yet. So we're going to talk a little bit about who's been linked with Arsenal today. We're going to talk about potentially what we might need at the club and what we still think we're short with. I think it's clear. Yesterday, a few people comment on the video saying, we ain't going to get 5 players, Dan. What are you talking about? I didn't say we were going to. I said that's what I believe we need. I think we do need 5 players. I think that is the bare minimum of what Arsenal Football Club need in terms of what we're probably going to get rid of. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we do that, massive thank you once again for hitting over 20k. Make sure you do me a favor. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the video. And of course, make sure you check out our sponsors, Football Prizes. Football Prizes is back. And this time, it is a England montage. It is a Jude Bellingham England montage that you can win LED, video reel and signed montage to frame, to put on your wall. And along with that, you've got a bit of a mega bundle. You've got a Rooney signed shirt. You've got a Kobe Mainu signed shirt. You've got opportunity to win the Gascoigne shirts. And you've got an opportunity to win the unbelievable 5-1 win, which actually was 2001. I can't believe that. Even Emil Heskey scored. That was an unbelievable game of football. And probably one of the best that I've seen in my time watching England. It was phenomenal. So make sure you get yourself in with a chance for this, people. It's really, really cheap. Put yourself in with a chance. www.footballprizes.co.uk, and all you've got to do is go and get yourself a ticket, and there's an unbelievable chance for you to win this prize, which I think is a phenomenal one to put on your wall, particularly around Euro 2024. So make sure that you're in with a chance to do that before it closes. Let's talk about Arsenal, shall we? We're in a position where we're linked with strikers again. We're linked with strikers, we're linked with midfielders. The goalkeeping situation and the defensive situation has gone a little bit quiet, but I do think that the priority, of course, is midfield and, of course, striking. The striker position, for me, I just don't know where I'm at with this. 1 minute we're linked with Tony or Watkins, then we're linked with Solanke, then we're linked with Sesko, then we're linked with OSIMHEN, then we're linked with Gyökeres, then we want somebody that no one's heard of. Let's just be real. There's a lot of strikers on this list, if there's a list that Arteta and Edu have, because every single day we're being linked with somebody. Now, I don't know how much to believe in the 65 million potential of Dominic Solanke. I know there's other clubs interested. I think Spurs are one of them. I think they're a team that probably could do well with a signing like that. They definitely need a striker, but so do Arsenal. And today the rumour has changed already. The rumour is that we are going to be preparing a bid for Victor Osimhen. Now, if you believe some of the Italian sources over there, Tot Juve, I think it's called, they are saying that Arsenal are planning a £90 million bid for Victor Osimhen. Do you believe that? Is that a source that you believe in? Is that a player that you want at the club? A lot of people say that it's definitely a player that should be coming to Arsenal in terms of that level. Some, however, are saying they don't want him. It's a lot of money. It's a risk, and it's massively injury-prone player. I don't like his form of late. I don't like his form in the African Cup of Nations. I don't like the fact he's injury-prone. But if you give me the Osimhen this time last year, I'm taking him 100%. The guy, let's be real, is a beast. He is a killer in the box. He does know where the back of the net is. If you can get the best out of him, he's a quality player. I do believe he's had enough of Napoli. And I think last summer he probably wanted to go, but understood for the benefit of the club that by signing a new deal, they were going to be able to keep him, and then potentially he could then be sold for good money. Now, actually, what they've done, Napoli, they probably could have got more money for him last summer. I actually genuinely believe that somebody would have probably paid 120 million last summer. Maybe a Manchester United, a Chelsea, a Manchester City, even before Haaland come onto the scene. They might have looked at that, albeit that would have been the season before. But you get my point. I think we could have actually had a potential to go and look at Osimhen, if I'm Napoli, and think, yeah, we could probably get more money for him. Now, with his form, I'm not saying he's been out of form. I think he's got like 15 goals, 16, 17 goals, something like that, which is still good if you compare to what we're looking at when Sesko scored. The problem we've got is he's going to be a hell of a lot more money than a Sesko. He's going to be more money. I don't even know that £90 million would actually be enough. Maybe they're looking towards closer to 100, or that release clause, which I believe is around 112 million pounds or something. Maybe it's 112 million euros, but we are looking to go in with a bid apparently. If you believe what the Daily Cannon is saying and what the reports in Italy are saying, then if they're your sources, it looks like we're going for OSIMHEN now. So we are going to be going for number 9, people. We are, and I'm happy with that. What I don't want is for Arsenal to be in a situation where they think, I'm quite happy with Havertz. I think Trossard can play there. Jesus is still there. We've seen that before. It wasn't enough. We need someone to get us across the line. And it doesn't mean that Havertz stops scoring. It doesn't mean that Jesus no longer plays. It means that we've got somebody that can add goals to the contribution of this team. And if we can get the form of Martinelli back up, if we can keep the consistency of Saka's goals of the last 2-3 seasons, we're in a position where we can add 15 to 20 more goals to the side. Why would we not do that? So I think this would be a good opportunity for us to go in with a player like that. Now, Victor Osimhen might not be my number 1. He might not be your number 1. But trust me, there are fans out there that I have spoken to that want him ahead of Sesko, ahead of Gyökeres, ahead of Alexander Isak even, because they believe that he's done it in a Napoli shirt for Serie A winners, and he's done it within Champions League as well. So I look at it and think, yeah, maybe it would be a good signing. It is going to be a risk. It's going to be a risk. It's nothing to do with his age. It's nothing to do with his price tag. It's actually to do with his injuries, because people are saying that he's been a very, very injury-prone player. And if that's to be the case, that would be a hell of a lot of money to spend on a potential injury-prone player. Now, he didn't have a very good African Cup of Nations. A lot of people said he was very wasteful. A lot of people said that he wasn't very good for the Ivory Coast. And a lot of people also said that they were quite unimpressed with just the whole attitude and all-round game of Victor Osimhen. But I tell you what, they weren't saying any of that this time last year. Everybody wanted this guy. It was like, you ain't going to get Osimhen. He's the one everybody wants, and you ain't going to get him. And it's funny how literally within a year, Alexander Isak is that guy now, and not him. Is it going to get to a stage next year where Alexander Isak isn't that guy, and all of a sudden people are talking about Boniface or potentially Gyökeres, something like that? We don't know. I do know for a fact that Arsenal need a number 9, and I'm standing by it. 100% I'm standing by it. So I'm in a position personally now where I believe that number 9 is probably as important as the central midfield position. And that's what we're going to talk about next. The central midfield position at Arsenal is probably the weakest it's been in a while when you look at the potential outgoings. El Nenny's gone, so what? Loved El Nenny in terms of what he brought to Arsenal. He was a 7 out of 10 pretty much all the time. But let's be real, if Thomas Partey goes as well, but there's rumours he could go, we've literally got Jorginho and Rice, and that is it. And that is it. And Rice is being asked to play in 2 positions, and Jorginho at 32, 33 is being asked to play in the anchor in a few games. And I believe that Jorginho will actually be the kind of El Nenny of this year, where you don't really see him unless times are bad. So we're going to need 2 midfielders if Partey goes. If Partey stays, we've got Partey and Jorginho. Rice can still play there, and then we need to go and get in that other midfielder. Now, it might be that we need 2 midfielders anyway. It might be that we need a 6 and an 8 as well. Some people say that we do. But the player we linked with today is Douglas Luiz. And yesterday there was suggestions that we were going to be wanting to... Villa were going to be wanting for around 50 million if they were going to be selling him. Now, I don't think Aston Villa want to sell Douglas Luiz. Let's just get it right. I don't think Aston Villa want to sell him. But they need to sell somebody because the FFP is a problem for them. I don't know enough about it to comment on it to say they're going to have to sell. But if they do, I think they'd rather sell Luiz than Watkins. So Douglas Luiz is a player that is on Arsenal's radar. He is a player we looked to get at before. He can play 6. He can play 8. He's Brazilian. He's around 25, 26. So he's a good age. He's going to have the link of Gabriel, Martinelli, Jesus and Edu. And I can see this one being realistic. Now, I don't know too much about what Aston Villa's targets are, but they've brought in Ross Barkley and they've also looked at Conor Gallagher. Now, neither of those plays in the 6, but they do play in the 8. Kamara plays in the 6 for Villa. They've got Jacob Ramsey, they've got John McGinn, they've got Tielemans. If they bring in Conor Gallagher and Ross Barkley as well as Emi Buendia, who's back now from injury, maybe they don't need the Douglas Luiz and they can use that to get another striker in, another winger in, maybe another centre-half. I don't think it would be bad for either party. And I actually do rate Douglas Luiz. I don't think he's outstanding. I don't think he's one of the best in the league. But if we were going to be looking at potentially £100 million for a striker and £100 million for a midfielder, but actually we could get 50 million for Luiz and 50 million for Sesko, We've got more money to spend on the right wing position. We've got more money to potentially spend on backup to Ødegaard. We've got more money to spend on a defender and more money to spend on a goalkeeper. So maybe it wouldn't be bad news. Maybe it would be potential for us to look at both these signings and go, do you know what? Sesko and LUIZ would actually do good jobs at Arsenal. One of them is Premier League proven. The other one isn't going to play 50 games. But maybe it might be a cheaper option. Now, I'm not an Arsenal accountant. I actually don't care how much we spend on players. Some people do. Some people look at it and go, that would be cheaper. I'd much rather keep that money and spend it X, Y, Z. I actually don't care. I just want the best players at the club. I actually don't care who we're linked with. If we want them, I want to get them. And if Arteta and Edu believe that that's the player, they've got to go and get it. They can't go, this is the cheaper option. We're not in a position to do that anymore. The other thing we're not in a position to do is to say, right, we've got these two players here that we believe in the next 5 years will be ready. No, they need to be ready now. Douglas Luiz is that guy. Bruno Guimaraes, De Jong, other names, they might be your preference. But Douglas Luiz is Premier League proven. So maybe that is an option for Arsenal. Maybe you look at him and Yusuf Fofana coming in for a combined, 80 million potentially? That might be two very good players. On top of the 50 that we pay for, say, Sesko, or if we go and spend 90 on OSIMHEN, we might be getting some good players in here. So Arsenal are linked with the right players now. I don't think it's a matter of why are we linked with these, this is crazy, what the hell does Douglas Luiz think he's good enough to play for Arsenal with? I wouldn't be any of that. But would they be my number one? Absolutely not. But would I mind them coming into Arsenal? No, I wouldn't. I think Douglas Luiz could do a very good job at Arsenal. I think Sesko and OSIMHEN would be better than Eddie Nketiah and Jesus in the 9. Yes, Isak could be my number one choice. Yes, Bruno G or De Jong would probably be more exciting than Douglas Luiz. And Sesko and OSIMHEN would probably be not a downgrade from Isak, but in terms of excitement and how you might be deflated if we was to sign those players, I could understand it. But I wouldn't be like, oh my God, what a waste of money. This is a disgrace. This isn't like us going and putting a load of money on, let's say, somebody like Calvert-Lewin, or loads of money in midfield on somebody like Houssem Aouar, who we were linked with a long time ago now, who I really liked, by the way, just hasn't really gotten to that next level. This is not as risky as that would be. So that's where I'm at. I hope and pray that Arsenal get this window right. And I've said that a long time. Every single time it shuts, we seem to be 1 or 2 players short. We can't have that this summer. We cannot. We cannot get to a stage where that window shuts and we go, yeah, good striker, but where's the midfield? It's short again. Saka, no cover. Ødegaard has to play every game. What happens if Saliba gets injured? Why have we got no backup goalkeeper now? Why is Okonkwo there or Carl Hein there? That can't be happening for me. So, fingers crossed, man. OSIMHEN and Douglas Luiz are the next two that Arsenal were linked with. Stay tuned, smash the like, smash the subscribe, and we will see you next time. Big up, people.